Welcome to a very special discussion time video I want to talk about. Well, somewhat special if you ask me. I want to ask you guys a serious question. Do you remember when they debut a new Pokemon series, they always replaced one of the main characters, or actually a few of them, except for Ash Ketchum himself because he's the main one. When they went from Kanto to Johto, well, nobody left. Well, Brock left for a short while when Ash went to the Orange Island and Tracy went with him. Then Brock came back during the Johto series, and Misty was still in the series. But after they finished the Johto series, they got rid of Misty and replaced her with May and Max. Then after the Hoenn series, May and Max went their own separate ways, and they replaced May with Dawn. Then after the series Diamond and Pearl, they got rid of Dawn, obviously, but they also got rid of Brock because the main reason why they got rid of Brock is because, well, he's not in the newer games, so that's reasonable enough, and he wanted to focus being on a Pokemon doctor. Then they replaced both Iris and Silent in the series. I was actually surprised that they were going to replace Silent as well. I wasn't surprised that they were going to replace Iris, because they always do this every series. I just want to ask you guys a very serious question. Since they replaced those two with Serena, Clement, and Bonnie, we know Clement and Bonnie are going to leave, no duh. I want to ask you, do you guys want Serena to leave the series also, or do you want her to stay? Now, before we get into the if Serena should stay or she should go, I want to talk about the older companions, starting off with Misty because she's the original companion for starters. Now, the reason why Misty left the series, actually, why I should mention how she was able to go from Kanto to Johto, same with Brock. They were able to go with him to the next region because in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, you can actually go back to Kanto and battle the other 8 gym leaders from Kanto, like Brock and Misty, of course, as well as the others as well. But the reason why Misty left after the Johto series was done with, mainly because in the Hoenn games like Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, you can't go back to Kanto, so that's pretty much why they kicked her off the series. But in the anime as well, more specific details, her sisters needed her in charge of the gym while her sisters were going on a trip somewhere else, like around the world or something. And when Misty did sort of reunite with Ash, sort of traveling, they give her a phone call asking Misty if they should just give away the badges to challengers who've been waiting to battle and stuff. And Misty said no. She doesn't want her sisters to just give away the badges. She wants them to battle, but her sisters don't really like battling and stuff, so that's pretty much explaining why Misty is not in the Pokemon series anymore. As much as I kind of want her back, chances of her returning, they're not going to happen unless her sisters decide to accept battling for a change, but that's never going to happen, unfortunately. Anyway, moving on to the next companion. Now let's talk about May, the one protagonist who replaced Misty in the series. Now, they replaced Misty with May because, well, in the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald games, you can't go back to Johto or to Kanto. They wanted to focus on a new region and a few new things as well. So basically, I know a lot of you were not happy when they replaced Misty with May. At first, I sort of liked May more than Misty because I used to think Misty was a meanie. But it turns out she was only trying to slap some nonsense into Ash and Brock, so you do have to appreciate Misty. But I kind of appreciate May slightly more than Misty. I'm not going to explain much detail why, but I'll go over that in a different video. The main focus is why they replaced and stuff like that. Back on topic. The reason why May left the series is because after the Battle Frontier, Ash wanted to go to a new region altogether, and May wanted to go to some other region that focused on contests. So Ash wanted to focus to be on a Pokemon Master, and May wanted to focus being a coordinator, so they had to go separate paths. It was unknown if Sinnoh had contests or not, but since now we know that they did, May came back for that. But I'm sure you figured that out. In fact, I wish Michelle Notch would do May's voice at least one more time. And Veronica Taylor as well. They both did a fantastic job voicing. I just prefer Michelle slightly a bit more, but when it comes to Ash, Veronica nails it. Moving on to the next protagonist. Now let's talk about Dawn, the one protagonist who replaced May in the series. At first, I was sort of a little sad that May had to leave, but when I found out they were replacing her with Dawn, I dealt with it. In fact, to be honest, I think Dawn's beautiful. I will make a separate video on why I like Dawn and May. Don't ask me who I like better. That's like asking me which show is better between Seinfeld and Frasier, and I like both shows equally. Same situation with May and Dawn, so don't ask me who's better between the two. But back on topic, Dawn's dream was to be a coordinator similar to what May had, but I'm sure you figured that out. The only differences between the contest in Hoenn and Sinnoh are you dress up in fancy clothes in Sinnoh, while in Hoenn, you just dress up in your casual ones, so they don't care what you dress up as, of course. But towards the end, after the Sinnoh generation was done, like they're finished, Brock wanted to study to become a Pokemon doctor, so he left the series and they replaced him. Dawn wanted to stay in Sinnoh to focus on fashion designing. She officially decided to give up on coordinating and decided to move on to fashion designing. Who knew that was going to happen? I was shocked hearing that, but seeing her leave the series, I think her send-off was slightly a bit more sad than Misty's, but that's my opinion, so I still miss Dawn. I wish Emily Janess would do her voice just one more time. But moving on to the next protagonist. Now let's talk about Iris, the one character who replaced Dawn in the series when they went to Unova. At first I hated her because, well, only because I wanted Dawn back like you wouldn't believe. In fact, well, I'm sure you figured that out. I made a video back in 2011. I was pretty mad. It has some swearing in it. I don't think you would want to watch it. I try to keep my videos G-rated, so I do apologize for swearing in my older videos. But back on topic. I'm not sure if any of you knew this, but did you know the person who voices Iris also voiced Lyra in a few of those episodes of Pokemon Galactic Battles when they were advertising for Heart Gold and Soul Silver? I bet you were surprised as much as I was. Well, aside from that, Iris, she's not that annoying of a character. I will make a video on characters who I think are annoying. I'll make a top 5 video of characters who annoy me. Iris is nowhere on that list. She may be on your annoying list, but she's nowhere on my list, I can tell you that. And also you should appreciate her that she does not want to be a coordinator, just like May or Dawn, so you wouldn't see them break down after losing a contest. Iris wanted to focus to become a Dragon Master, something I like to point out. Anyway, they got rid of Iris because, well, she wanted to stay in the Kanto area to focus on other things. If she came with Ash to Kalos, then she would be in the series instead of Serena, but what can you expect? Then again, a lot of people didn't really like Iris. They said she was nothing like Misty, that's why they hate her, so moving on. Anyway, I do apologize for talking too long, but I wanted to give a proper explanation of why Misty left, why May left, why Dawn left, and why Iris left. But now let's talk about Serena, of course. Of course, her goal is to become Kalos Queen, but who knows, she might succeed, she might fail. But the main question is, do you want Serena to stay in the series? Do you want her to travel with Ash to the new region, LOO? Or do you want Serena to stay in Kalos and leave the series and have her replaced with the new protagonist? In fact, if you're looking at the image, the girl who isn't Serena, that's who the new protagonist is. I don't know her name, so we'll just call that girl the new protagonist. If I know what the name is, I would obviously mention in the video, but since I don't, I'm just going to call her the new protagonist. Now, we all know for sure Clement and Bonnie have to stay in Kalos because obviously Clement is a gym leader and he needs to make sure Clembot isn't screwing up and stuff and such, so he needs to stay in Kalos. As for Serena, this is the difficult part. If you want Serena to be replaced, then don't lift a finger. You don't have to do anything. But if you want Serena to stay in the series, here's what you should do. Go to the description of the video, click the link below, and sign the petition saying you want Serena to stay, and say, screw that bimbo, that new person trying to replace Serena. That's one of the ways that will probably keep Serena into the series. I don't know, maybe that might work. You click the video or the description and see if it works or not. So in the end, the decision is yours. Do you want Serena to stay in the series for good, or do you want her out of the series for good and replaced with a new protagonist? The decision is yours and yours alone. I will tell you my decision. I want her to stay in the series. I don't want her to leave too soon. In fact, every character I see, I don't want them to come and go. I'm sick of that, and it's time for a change that they keep a protagonist once for a change. I'm CuteMimi25, and I'm signing off.